Hello, I'm Paul.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Ben.
And welcome to FilmBusters.
FilmBusters.
We did that very well. There was no mistakes.
It was well. It was as well as an intro could go.
Yes.
I would almost say it was in the category of splendid.
Oh, very much so.
That's high praise.
I would say it was swell.
I think it was fair to middling.
It was swell, like the swell of the boat that we're going to talk about in our film.
Oh, lovely. Linking it in, is he?
Linked it.
And that is why I earn the big mucks.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you making money out of this podcast? Are you? Fucking hell! I need a new agent.
Oh, back to that. Aren't you not?
I'm bleeding money on this podcast. I lose £12 every time we do a fucking podcast to go to the cinema.
You go to a cheap cinema, son.
But mine was only a tenner.
£12.95 at the Odeon. Look at that. Paul goes to the posh ones.
And if you go on a Monday, it's only a £5, which I only realised as I was leaving. So next time I'm going to be filming on a Monday.
You are one cheapskate. You don't want to go into a £5 screening, let me tell you.
Yeah? Some kid did throw popcorn at me in the cinema watching this film.
You are the kid who throws popcorn. You still are.
You were as well, Ben. I know you. Your pictures in every cinema around the country.
I don't have my popcorn in the cinema.
Oh, yeah, you don't, do you?
Oh, yes, he doesn't.
Anyway, should we get on with the podcast?
Let's.
Right, so let's do our quiz. So if anyone who just joined our podcast and listened before, we do a quiz every podcast. And I ask Adam and Ben a question or two questions. And if they get it right, they get a point. If they get it wrong, I get a point. So scores at the moment, we have Ben on 31, Adam on 32, and me on 33. That was a nice rhyme.
That was a nice rhyme indeed.
This is why Paul gets the big bucks as well. I think it's just you, Ben. You're not inputting anything into this.
No.
I know. I'm at a detriment. But let's see. If I get these two questions right, then I'm leader of the pack. Yeah, it doesn't matter if I'm not making any money.
I feel like one of you will get these questions.
Oh, be afraid, Adam. It's going to be me.
If you get them wrong, then it's horrendous.
For both of us?
Yes.
All right, so it's who's quickest. Ready?
What year was the original Jurassic Park film released?
1994. I'm out by...
Wrong.
I'm going 93.
Yes, Adam, well done.
Yes.
Oh, God, I went far too quick off the mark.
I know, well, I was thinking, shit, you might actually be right then.
Oh, I was going to say 93 at first, but then I thought, no, I'm pretty sure I was 8. Fuck.
Oh, well done, Adam.
Well done.
Nice. You could have a chance to make it back.
Yeah, but even if I get this, I'm going to be at least a point behind you.
Yeah, exactly.
Very true. Very true. You're not leveling to anyone yet.
Fuck.
Now here we go.
Come on then, let's have it.
Second
How
question.
Annoying.
What is the name of the dog from Wizard of Oz?
Toto.
For fuck's sake.
Well done, Ben. Well done.
Thank God I got in there very quickly. I almost blanked it.
Oh my God, I was thinking. It's like the most obvious dog in the world.
It is.
I thought that was going to be a question related in some way to today's featured movie and a dog comment which I have later to make, which is going to be hard to make given certain rules that we've set in place, but actually forget all this.
I knew you'd both get it. Well done.
Do you feel disappointed that you only held on to top spot for 1 week?
No, I'm leveling.
Weeks?
I'm still on the top spot.
I know, but it's not really yours, is it? It's shared.
Yeah.
I'll make sure they're really hard questions next
We have
week.
to do a tiebreaker each day just to decide who's the leader of the day.
Yeah. Paul never stood a chance of getting any points out of those two questions.
Nah.
Between us, we were always going to get those answers.
It's fine.
Fair play to Paul.
It's fine. Swings and roundabouts.
Sometimes you're up and sometimes you're down.
Exactly. Sometimes you're spinning. Sometimes you're swinging back and forward.
Sometimes you're in the water. Sometimes you're on the land.
It's true.
No, sometimes you're in the water or sometimes you're on the boat. It's like Meg.
Sometimes you're in the house and sometimes you're in the park.
We are waffling like crazy today.
I know. Awful waffling.
Let's go on to news.
Excuse me, can you pass me that newspaper from over there? I want to know what's going on at the pictures. Thank you.
Idris Elba is being considered for the role of James Bond. It's not been confirmed, but it's being considered. What do you guys think about that?
I don't really care. He's a good actor. He's alright, actually. I wouldn't say he's a good actor. He's kind of come out of this wave of actors that are just kind of famous for being actors without actually being great. But he's also kind of begging it a bit on Twitter because he was like, "Hi, my name's Idris." No, it's Elba. Idris Elba, wasn't he? Or something like that.
Yeah.
But he also tweeted and said, "Don't believe the hype."
Yeah, I know, but he's begging it a bit.
So
he's stirring up rumours. Like, none of the other actors have acknowledged the rumours about them, have they?
Imagine that you weren't. He knew he's not going to be Bond, of course he's going to play around and say name's Elba, Idris Elba, because that's like just taking the piss. Because you're like, I'm not Bond, I'll just play along with it. But if he is Bond, it is a bit bigging it. Yes,
That's true.
I feel like he wants to stir up the rumours. I think he likes the rumour mill being around, especially considering he's got a new film coming out, which I saw the trailer for in the cinema.
Yeah, Yardy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, though, I don't think he's suited for Bond. I don't think he's that kind of person. He's too big, for one. I think he's too muscular.
How old is
Daniel
he?
Craig was pretty muscular when he took the role.
Yeah, I know, but he's like quite tall. I think Idris is a bit more stocky.
Do you reckon he'll play it like he plays Luther, or a bit
Like me.
just banging more girls and in the sea and nicer places?
We don't talk about banging girls on this podcast.
We're doing the James Bond segments.
Oh, right, yeah, it's allowed in the James Bond segment. Everyone can be a fucking prehistoric animal.
That's the whole
But
point.
also tying it into today's feature.
Yes, indeed.
That's why I get the big bucks. Now shut up.
If you could cast anyone as the next Bond, would you have an idea of who you'd like it to be?
Me.
I'd cast a fucking skeleton or something. I don't care. I don't. Give it to anyone.
Skeleton.
I only liked it when they did those first few Daniel Craig ones. I never liked Bond before
I feel
and already I'm
Daniel
done
Craig's
with Bond.
kind of outdone his run now. Was it be his fifth one
yeah.
now?
Yeah,
about time,
he needs to
yeah.
correct Spectre.
Bit
though.
long.
That's why.
It's true.
I think that Idris Elba will be fine. He'll be fine.
Maybe not. Yeah.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Love is the best.
Forget.
Love is the best.
Idris is yes, whatever.
Cool. Next bit of
I
news.
would like it. Hang on a minute.
Go on.
I would like it if Idris Elba is Bond, but he speaks with his South London accent. Oh, it's not even South London. He's born in like North London, wasn't he? But he talks like a South Londoner, and I would like it if he spoke in that accent rather than the posh James Bond accent. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be quite nice. I would like to see that. That's the only reason Idris Elba would be good, I think.
Then you can just watch Layer Cake.
Switch it up a bit.
That's Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
He's in it. Isn't he in Layer Cake? Or was it Tom Hardy that's in Layer Cake?
He's in Rock and
Yeah,
Roller.
Idris Elba and Tom Hardy are very similar. Neither are in Layer Cake.
No, I think Tom Hardy's in Layer Cake.
He isn't.
I'm gonna.
Daniel Craig is. Tom Hardy's not in Layer
Okay, let's
Cake.
move on with the news, and I'll get back to you on that bit.
When I was younger, I spent probably a 2-month period of just watching Layer Cake. I had it in the DVD player at all times, and it's just when I was at home, I just always had it on in the background.
Wow.
I know that film very
Tom
well.
Hardy
There's
is
no
in
Tom
Layer
Hardy.
Cake.
Well, who is he?
Clark. He doesn't look anything
God.
like Tom Hardy.
Shut my mouth. I'm sorry, I just have to Google that quickly to see if that... Oh my God, you're
Well,
right.
now. You have shut this boy down.
And that is why I earn the
I'm
big
not-
box, and you
I'm
have
not gonna
now
say-
demoted to the bottom again.
I ain't even going to say anything about the next news segment because I've got nothing valid to say.
Right, the next piece of news. Michael Bay is producing horror film Meet Jimmy about an evil podcast.
Surely that's in the segment that we don't give a fuck about.
No, but listen, this is fun. Ready?
Well, because it's about a podcast, and we're
It's
doing
like-
a podcast.
it's like The
Ooh,
Ring.
How edgy.
It kills its listeners. A serial killer named Jimmy Two Fingers, who uses his 2 fingers to gag and suffocate his victims.
Yeah, that's the shittest film I've ever heard in my life.
Well, how's that even related to a podcast, though?
I don't know.
Get it.
I don't know. Why
Don't
is
worry,
there
guys.
Jimmy
We will
Two
not
Fingers?
do this to you. We need listeners. We're not killing them yet.
Oh, it sounds awful. And it's Michael Bay.
Yeah, there'll be loads of explosions.
No.
Let's just move on from that. I don't want to hear anything more about that film. Let's never mention it again. Let's try to remove it from the history of existence by not talking about it.
Doesn't even make sense. An evil podcast
I know.
that kills people. How can a podcast kill people? Is it like The
Is it
Ring?
a
People listen to
podcaster
it and they
killing
become
people?
killers.
Or is it a podcast killing people? Like you listen to the podcast and you die? Or is it the guy on the podcast just going around killing people that listen to his podcast?
Who knows and who cares?
Paul cares. Paul cares very much.
That's why he put it in
You're
news that he
involved
cares
in this.
about, not in news he doesn't give a fuck
Yes.
about.
Jimmy Two Fingers is going to come and get you.
I don't give a shit. It's Michael
For
Bay.
disrespecting
Jimmy Two
him.
Fingers. Does he say things 2 times like, I'm going to get the papers, get the papers?
Now that's a film I'd like to see.
Yeah. If they did a film just about him, that character from Goodfellas, I'd watch it. They'd have to write all his dialogue twice. Imagine the script would be like 300 pages long.
Or they could just do it once and he just knows to do it twice.
I still don't understand this film, so I don't.
Yeah,
Do you know what we've done?
About it.
You know what we've done? We've moved it into the news we don't give a fuck about section, which is happening right now.
News we don't give a fuck about.
The seamless transition.
What do we not give a fuck about this week?
We don't give a fuck about Michael Bay produced a horror film called Meet Jimmy about an evil podcast. But as well as that, we also don't give a fuck about the outstanding achievement in popular film award that the Oscars are creating.
See, I think that's the wrong way around. I give more of a fuck about that, even though I have no opinion on the Oscar category. It's just let them do it. I mean, it's a bit of a beg just to try and give out films to, I don't know.
It's to get young audiences in, I reckon, because they want they want to rate these like teen films that never get rated as for Oscars. Because no one cares, and the Academy doesn't care because they
literally probably want to give Black Panther an Oscar, and they're thinking, how can we do this?
Yes.
It does a disservice to whoever gets nominated for that. It's like saying, yeah, well, you're good, but you're actually not highbrow enough to be considered in best film.
Yeah. And
I don't like that. It's like, fuck, best popular film. So, like...
It's a cheap award.
So, like, what about things that straddle the bit? Because, like, say, for example, Dark Knight... I can't remember if it got nominated for Best Picture, but you would think that it should. But that, arguably, they could say, okay, well, this year that sort of film goes in the popular film category, and this year it goes in the standard picture category. It's
dumb.
It's well stupid. And who gives a fuck about the Oscars anyway? The Oscars don't tell me what to like. They get it wrong so many times.
Do you know what? I think Adam is right? Because they've created this category, and they've said, okay, we fucked up that year where we didn't put any black people into a category, and then we fucked up when we gave the wrong envelope to a different film for a black film. Yeah. They fucked up again. Do you know what? Let's make a category. How can we make Black Panther get an award? Let's do an outstanding film award just so Black Panther's there, and we can get all the black people back in because they'll be supporting it.
That's a very interesting point.
That's what I think.
I never thought of it that way.
That is exactly what they've done it for.
And then they say after this year, and now we're actually getting rid of that award because it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Unless they make like Get Out 2 and then they'll just put it again.
But what's an example of films that we've seen this year? Because basically what that also means is films that don't deserve to be nominated for shit are going to start getting nominated
Avengers.
for shit.
It'll be like all the superhero films. It's going to be like the best superhero film of the year, basically.
So take out superhero films. What does that leave you with? Because then, like, what do you class as a popular film
Star
as opposed
Wars.
to? Yeah, but
it's all the summer blockbusters. It would be the Meg.
That's true.
The Meg will get Oscar nominated.
In your fucking
if
dreams,
the Meg
mate.
gets Oscar nominated, I'll wait and give my opinion on that.
That can be the title of the podcast. Should the Meg be Oscar nominated?
Yeah, is it Oscar worthy?
What's the one they have the day before the Oscars? What's the one they have the day before the Oscars where it's like the worst film of the year?
The Razzies.
That's the one.
Fuck them all.
Listen, anyway, just a final word on it. It doesn't matter what the Oscars award and to who, it's all fucking political over there. They're all doing it for the wrong reasons. No one ever gets awards for the right reasons as far as I'm concerned with the Oscars. So, fuck them.
But even like DiCaprio getting an Oscar, he should have got it before, and they literally probably gave that out of sympathy. They thought, shit, people are actually starting to realise.
Yeah,
now
Martin
we've got to give him one.
Martin Scorsese got his award for The Departed. It's like The Departed is nowhere near Martin Scorsese's best directed film. How the fuck he got it for Departed over Casino, over Goodfellas, even over things like Mean Streets
even
and Taxi Driver?
Wall Street should have got it. Like,
yeah. Anyway.
It's just a whole thing of who are we going to big up this year? We need to big up someone who hasn't done it before. This person hasn't got an Oscar yet. He's doing a good film. Let's make this film the Oscars.
Oh no, someone's complaining about this guy. Let's just move on from the Oscars.
It's fucking stupid.
Boycott the Oscars.
Forget the Oscars. Forget them all. We decide. We'll do our own nominations. What we should do before the Oscars this year is we look at all of the films that have been nominated in the categories and we give our decisions on them. And that is the true winners. Because we're of the people. We're not the Hollywood elite over in Cannes in their tuxedos, in their fucking bathrobes.
We
in
will
their
have
hotels.
all the film stars round though. We'll still go around to Paul's house with all the film stars.
Yes.
They'll be sitting in my garden.
Where will put me next to Sam Rockwell?
Yeah, he's a lovely boy, isn't he?
Yeah, but put me next to him. Who are you gonna sit next to?
I'm going to sit next to Harvey Weinstein.
Oh. And why? You deserve to sit next to him. And where will you sit next to, Adam?
I'll sit next to Benjamin Murray.
Fucking pull your tongue out of his arsehole.
Yeah, see how much he loves me?
So that means... I'd like to sit next to Alan Ford for his appearance in Snatch. We should give him like a... What's the one where you give it to them years later? What's that called? Fucking hell.
He ain't invited.
An honour.
This is my house, he ain't invited.
The Fellowship.
Yeah, like Alan Ford for his performance in Snatch.
Who the fuck is Alan Ford?
He plays Bricktop.
Oh, God. You love Snatch so much, man. Why do you love it so much? It's ridiculous.
Because it's a great film to quote. Like, Paul just quoted it.
What was said? I missed what was
Pull
said.
your tongue out of my ass.
No, I didn't. Well, see, I don't even... Forget Snatch, please.
You love quoting films. It's
Let's
your thing,
move
Ben.
on.
Okay, let's move on to trailer trash.
Let's move on to trailers. Trash. Trailers trash.
I don't live in a caravan, so why would you give me trailers trash?
That was a live rendition.
It was.
I don't live in a caravan, so why are you showing me that trailer trash?
Right, so guys, we're talking about the Happytime murders with Melissa McCarthy.
It was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
I didn't feel that strongly. I thought I might watch it. I wasn't overwhelmed by it, but I thought...
Melissa McCarthy annoys the hell out of me to start off with.
She used to annoy the hell out of me. She annoys the hell out of me less so now. A bit like Seth Rogen.
Yeah. And also, it's like they're not even using the Muppets. They are just ripping the Muppets off.
Yes.
No.
I like to see puppets behaving badly, though.
Yeah, but it just looks awful. Like, puppets behaving badly in a good way, that just looked like...
Let me tell you one reason this is an interesting fucking film.
Yeah.
Because this is directed by, what's his name? Brian Henson, and he is the actual person who did Muppets Christmas Carol and Muppets Treasure Island.
Yeah, that's what I thought at the beginning. They popped up at the beginning of the trailer. It says all that shit. I'm like,
I know, but when you think from the creators, you think, oh, maybe it's just someone who produced it. It could be fucking anyone. But the reason is that this is the actual person who done them, and it's just him going like, fuck it, I don't fucking care about the Muppets anymore. Let me just fuck it up. I
know, and he was, and it was very rude. It was very rude. I thought they were going to hold it back a little bit and be a bit 12, but it was pretty fucking rude. I liked it.
No, it's R-rated, so it's going to be fucking horrible.
Yeah, they're snorting coke. The Muppets are snorting their glittery equivalent of coke in the trailer.
Yeah. She annoys me as well, though. I could probably have actually stood it a bit more if she wasn't in it. But yeah, it just looks terrible at the same time. You're
annoyed by strange people.
Strange people. I can't warm to
I used to not really have much time for Melissa McCarthy, but she's kind of pulled it back a little bit.
Yeah, same
with like Bridesmaids and stuff like that. She was
only a little bit. I haven't seen Bridesmaids.
Oh, Bridesmaids, to film the century.
Are you joking me?
No, I've never seen it.
So you are joking me, okay.
Yes, he's joking.
Paul really loved it.
Paul
actually wears his bridesmaid outfit every day when he does his podcast.
Do you know who I don't like, who I don't think is funny in the slightest, is Tina Fey, her comedic partner.
Funny.
She's not very funny at all. She's like the straight man, but sometimes the straight man can be funny. You know, in like a twosome, sometimes the straight man is funny because of how he works with the comedic partner, but she's just very dull with it.
Yeah, I don't find her funny that much.
She's highly,
Anyway, should you move on to a better trailer for Ben to react to?
Yes, this dude Ben reacts to a trailer.
Hello Ben, are you going to react to this trailer?
Yes, you're going to react to a trailer.
So this is called Slaughterhouse Rulez trailer.
Indeed.
All I can see is Simon Pegg in the thumbnail for it. So it's going to be a comedy. Before I watch this, I don't know. In fact, let me say it afterwards. Let's watch this. Okay, so here we go. Simon Pegg in a trailer called Slaughterhouse Rulez. Oh, it did that annoying 5-second thing at the beginning. Here we go. Right. Here's a school. There's Michael Sheen. It's a British film. Posh school. Looks like it's going to be a horror comedy. Let's see what happens. I don't know. Let's see. Am I going to hate this or not? Slaughterhouse Rulez. I recognise that boy, but I don't know from where. It's just the school comedy by the looks of it so far. And I don't really like it. Oh, well, that's the guy from Peaky Blinders. That's where I recognise him from. So all these kids are at a private school. They're talking about something being in the woods. Now there's a big hole. And there's that Nick person. Frost. I'm not sure about this. I'm starting to hate it as it goes on. I'm finding it hard to say things about this as I go because it's just like so fast-paced and annoying. Yeah, I'm off this film. I'm turned off it. Sorry, my commentary wasn't very good with that trailer at all because I was just trying to keep up with what was going on through it all because it was quite loud and active. That looks shit.
It's like someone going, "Oh, Edgar Wright did some good ones with Nick Frost and Simon Pegg. Let me just make one." And
Exactly.
That's guaranteed success, isn't it?
And you're guaranteed that Nick Frost, that will be pretty much his only scene in it as well.
Yeah,
But it also looks like the person who made St. Trinity has decided to try and make that.
I haven't seen that
Same film again. Like
it's silly. They need to move on. Simon Pegg needs to move on. The thing I was going to say about Simon Pegg before that, and it occurred to me when we watched Mission Impossible the other day, is Simon Pegg needs to now move on from the silly
Simon Pegg.
Yeah.
Simon Pegg roles. Do some, or just do your own leading comedies that are a bit different because we've kind of seen it all from him now.
Yeah.
Just do Spaced again. Or don't do it again.
Yeah, do Spaced again. Yeah, well, revisit Spaced would be good. That. What did you think of that trailer?
I wanted to like it because I like him. I like Simon Pegg and Nick Frost together. But I just was trying to like it and I just could not like it at all.
No.
They're not even together anyway. It's not like you saw them in scenes together.
Well, we don't know that. There could be spoilers.
I reckon if Nick Frost and Simon Pegg were actually in scenes together, they would have showed them in the trailer.
Yeah, because they want to exploit that fucker.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like the Jeff Goldblum in the trailer for Jurassic World, and it was like, oh yeah, that's actually the only scene he's in.
Yeah.
And Bryan Cranston in Godzilla.
Godzilla!
And the strange thing about this film as well is for a film with Simon Pegg in and putting Simon Pegg in the thumbnail,
Yes.
there wasn't even any Simon Pegg in that trailer.
There wasn't much, no.
I don't think he's even the main character. I reckon
He might be
all
the
those
monster.
kids are the main characters. It's about the kids.
Michael Shea. How much you want to bet that headmaster has created that hole in the ground somehow, and he's responsible for whatever those little beasties are that were coming out?
Well, there's only one way to find out. We'd have to watch it. We'll have to go on Halloween.
We're not going on Halloween. We're seeing Halloween.
Indeed, we are seeing Halloween.
Halloween.
What's Halloween?
What do you mean? The Michael Myers film.
I'm joking. I'm taking the piss and you get annoyed by that.
Boy.
I could hear you. Even before I finished the sentence, I could hear you rising to the bait.
Listen, we're going to see that on Halloween. Absolutely guaranteed, 100%. That is our Halloween podcast review. I'm booking that in early. It's being done.
Yes, can't wait.
Yes, that trailer was very bad.
Yes, we won't see it.
No,
Anyway,
we won't.
should we move on to the main event?
Wait, before we move on to the main event,
Yes.
because as soon as we play the theme, we will be technically in the main event. So
Oh,
I
yes.
think Ben has something to tell us.
We're talking about the Meg today, and we're not allowed to make any reference to Jaws. We're not allowed to say Jaws. We're not even allowed to say that other shark movie or anything like that. So no getting around it. We can't allude to Jaws in any way in this main feature section. So no references to Jaws, no hints at Jaws, nothing.
Fine.
Let's go.
Agreed.
The main event. This will be
Roll
fun.
it.
The main event. Here is our feature topic, plus Adam might do a rubbish plot summary.
Are you fucking serious?
Right, guys, it is spoilers from now on for the film Meg. If you have not seen it, do not listen any further unless you want us to spoil it for you. Adam, would you like to explain the plot of the Meg?
There's a billionaire who's building something because he wants to see what's below the seabed. Great idea to start off with. That's how every good film starts, that they start exploring stuff they shouldn't be exploring. You know it's going to go tits up. And they basically release a Jurassic prehistoric shark called a megalodon, which is like massive. It's like, was it 30 meters long? And it like trumps everything else, and they release it back into the sea. And then after that, there's just a big shark.
Yeah. After that, it's a big shark. Before that, it was a little shark.
Yeah.
That was pretty
Beautiful.
good. That was pretty good.
That's all the
And
film
also
is,
a
really.
lot of people fall off boats for no reason, just to put themselves in danger, and everyone's so panicky because there's a big shark in the water and they're all in the sea because they just all decide to fall off a boat.
It's true.
It is true.
You thought they would have learnt their lesson the first time.
Everyone
Certainly
loves
would
rolling
have.
overboard.
They do. So, let's go.
Let's
with our
go.
reviews of The Meg.
I'm going to
Who's
let
going
you two
first?
go first because I know you two love shark films.
All right, Paul, first. What's the score out of 10?
Score out of 10 is 6 out of 10. That is, for me, a lower average. And I thought, when I was watching this film, this is exactly what I thought it'd be. It's not exactly thrilling me. It's just, I'm watching it, I'm not bored, I'm just watching it. And that was all it was.
Interesting.
And that's how I felt.
2 out of 10.
Why?
I love your ratings.
Just to give it to you in a sentence or two like Paul did, then we'll go into detail. I was expecting it to be shit, but I thought it would be entertaining. It wasn't for 1 second at any point.
Yeah. I gave it a 5. It's one less than I gave Mission Impossible last week, but I thought Mission Impossible went in to be a good film. It tried to be a good film and it failed. Whereas this, it knew from the outset it was shit. But then it didn't even get to that level. It was like, you knew it's going to be shit, you know it's going to be stupid, but it was still shit even after that.
Yeah.
I'm rating it on what it's set out to be rather than an actual film. If it's an actual film, it'd probably be about 1.
Let me tell. Okay, so before we go into our other additional things, we've all seen The Shallows now, yeah?
Yeah, I watched it.
So by comparison, what would we all give The Shallows, which is the other recent shark film? Yeah, I would say 6/7. What would you say, Paul?
I would say I rate exactly the same 6.
The thing is with The Shallows, it was good in places. There was tense moments in places you felt there was actually like almost got you in the edge of your seat. It wasn't terrible in places.
Yeah.
It was terrible ending, but in some places it's actually quite a good film. Whereas
I know, but we're not reviewing that film.
film.
I just mean it as like a comparison thing. So I want to see where you're ranking this in comparison to other recent shark films. So what about we all seen Deep Blue Sea?
No, I haven't.
Yes, I have seen.
Okay, what would you give Deep Blue Sea out of 10?
Deep Blue Sea probably a 7.
Yeah, I give it 7 or 8. 8 probably. Yeah. I found it very entertaining at the time. And The Reef, I know you haven't seen it, Adam, but Paul, you said 7 out of 10 the other day, right?
Yes, indeed, yes.
I would say an 8 out of 10 for that. So we're all agreeing that based on recent shark films, this ranks lowest, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm glad at least we all agree on that.
If someone said to me, let's go see The Meg, I'd be like,
all right, so, okay, come on then. So it's obviously easy to attack this film for being a piece of shit, so let's hear your arguments for why it deserves a 6, Paul.
I'm giving it a 6 because, for instance, let me say when I was watching Tomb Raider, I couldn't wait for that film to end, right? And that's why I gave that a lower rating. Where this, I went into the film thinking, okay, this film is obviously not to be taken seriously. And I know myself that it's supposed to be just a fun, action, stupid shark film.
Yeah.
And I felt it delivered on that. And I wasn't bored at any point. It kept me entertained, even though it was stupid and the acting was bad and they were coming up with stupid jokes. But I thought, no, let me think about this because this is what the film is. It's not trying to be anything else.
Yeah, but, okay, alright. So here we go. Now we're going to have a fucking discussion about this motherfucker. Because, okay, yes, I agree. You know it's going to be a stupid fucking film. It's Jason Statham taking on a massive fucking shark. That's it. It's obviously going to be stupid. It's obviously going to be silly. But at least it might be entertaining. But I was not entertained. I was so bored.
You're like, every time this is just ridiculous now. Especially like when she's in a bit of jeopardy, he runs off the back of the thing, dives into the water. I'm like, you fucking twat.
But not only that sort of stupid shit, but it's like there's so many things I hated about it. She was like, whenever she was in any form of jeopardy or whatnot, she was calm as you like, narrating her situation. So it begins with her going, like, when that massive squid wraps itself around a ship, she goes, oh, I am being crushed at the moment. It is squeezing me. And then later, when a fucking shark has a cylinder which has her inside in its mouth, she's going, I'm in its mouth. And someone on the ship goes, oh, what do you mean? The glass can't break. And she goes, that's the problem. It's swallowing me. It's like, you don't talk like that. And then, like, 30 seconds later, she goes, okay, new problem. My mask isn't working anymore. It's like, shut up, stop talking like that. And then, my oxygen levels, they're running low. It's like, your oxygen levels are running so fucking low, you would be screaming in panic. Act a moment, show up a little here for this film. Show up a little.
Like that.
How do you even get in? How do you even get into a fucking acting career when you're that shit? You can't act for shit. The lines are awful, but you can't even deliver a shit line.
Also, talking about bad acting, I think we had the worst death since The Dark Knight Rises in that film. When her dad died, that was such a shit death. He literally
didn't
fell off
notice
a
it
boat,
too
and then he
much.
gets onto the boat and he's lying on it, and you think, oh, he's all right. And then the next minute he's like,
I
Just
know.
closed his eyes.
I don't know why he even died.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know why he
it was
died.
like, what happened? You literally fell off a boat. Everybody else was fine. You got back on the boat. You're lying on the floor. You're a bit like, oh, you got a bit of like a cut on your head, little tiny cut, and then you're dead.
It was
like
like Kathleen Peterson
normal
from The
conversation, and
Staircase.
halfway through the sentence, he's like, I'm dying now.
But you know what bit I didn't understand as well? Because when he was talking to her before he died, he like created this massive exposition where he's like, I'm sorry the way I treated you when you were younger. I'm sorry I did. It's like, there was not even any evidence of that.
No, I
He
know.
just said it.
It took. The thing is, actually, Paul, is that I think this film kind of took itself a little too seriously. And that's what the problem was. At certain points, it kind of felt like it was doing something.
I mean, if you're taking yourself seriously, you do not get Jason Statham to stab a shark in the eye.
I know. I mean, but there was so many. Like, if you analyse this fucking thing, everything was wrong with it. But I know that's the thing. I'm trying not to analyse. I know it's meant to be a stupid, silly film, but it was just boring for me.
Yeah. Also, can you talk about your favourite subject, Ben? Child
What?
actors.
Oh, yes.
Well, yeah. Well, obviously she was annoying as fuck. Of course, she was.
That's
It's like-
Mummy!
Yeah, and it stopped talking like this, like shit, beckoning with her finger to Jason Statham and all that stuff. It's like, who writes this shit? Really, everything was rubbish in it. All of it was rubbish. The black guy was like a typical black guy. Like LL Cool J was problematic in Deep Blue Sea, but he was like, they did the stereotypical black guy role in Deep Blue Sea. They played to that stereotype, but it's 20 years
Yeah.
too late now.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
It takes cinema back about 20 years. Everything
Absolutely.
in this film. That stereotype in that film was annoying. It's like, come on, man. I
Yeah,
think we've actually
but-
moved past that now.
Yeah,
Even the
black
audiences
people do
have moved
not
past
just
that.
act like this now. And
Yeah.
they don't all make reference to the fact that they're black or that they're dealing
Yeah.
with white people all the time. Like, that's so fucking outdated now.
yeah.
And also, everything in the film was just so outdated. I think that was probably the main problem with it, saying that. If this film came out in 2000, you might think, oh, it's bad.
But like,
it's not
that's
as
what it
bad
feels
as
like.
that.
It feels like a B movie from that time.
It's
that's
like
what
it
it's
has
like.
taken cinema back 20 years.
But how did this get a cinematic release when things like Sharknado don't, and they go straight to Netflix? Like The Meg, this feels like this should have gone straight onto Netflix,
Yeah,
not
but it had
straight
Jason
into
Statham
cinemas.
in it, didn't it?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Jason
that's the
Statham, who cares?
There's people who love Jason Statham,
I
man.
know. Well, people are idiots because he can't act.
I know.
It's like The Rock. They're not actors. At least Arnold Schwarzenegger had character.
No, 100%. Do you know why it's not scary? Because it's too big. And like, if you're looking at
Yeah.
something like The Shallows, right, or The Reef, the shark is normal size, and it's like, this shark can bite you. Right?
And you don't even see it biting you.
Yeah, you don't even see it coming. It's coming fast, and it's going to bite you. It's going to bite
Yes.
a chunk out of you. This shark can just swallow you whole, and you're going to be inside it. That's not
Yeah.
scary.
Literally, the only threat that people had is because they kept falling over the edge of the boat. Every single time they're on the boat, you know they're going to fall off it.
I know.
Because it's
I
like,
know,
let's put everyone in
fuck me.
danger really quickly and make everything really tense.
And like, tell me, right? How on earth did that boat hoist up that other massive shark?
Oh, yeah.
What sort of wrench and,
And
pulley system have they got
It didn't even look
to
that
hold it
big
up?
on that boat when it was on the boat.
I know. Straight away, he's like, "Well, that's not the fucking Meg."
Yeah.
And
looked
here's
like
the other thing. You know, at the end, the shark going into the beach to eat all those people, which is so stylized, it looks like a fucking bowl of Cheerios or something with all the
Yeah.
colourful things. And
So many people there.
so many people, ridiculous, and like loads of people just zorbing in a crowd of people in the sea.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen.
Going over people's heads.
Yes, and then
And wolf whistling and shit like that. Come on, man.
yeah, the wolf was. It was so, do you know? Let me tell you this. I felt in those last 20 minutes, I was feeling sick, and as soon as the film ended, I was fine, and I think it was literally because I was hating it so much. Honest to God,
You hated it so much, you felt
it was like,
sick.
and I felt sort of dizzy in the head. I'm like, oh man.
The
But
thing
listen,
is, you two were excited for this film to come out as well.
I was. I admit, I don't know why I was.
It was a bit of fun, wasn't it?
But the thing is, why they could have made it more fun, man. Like, do you know what would have been cool if they'd done like Deep Blue Sea and killed off Jason Statham halfway through the film?
Yeah.
Because then you go, oh shit, son. But no, we have to play out this fucking romantic bullshit that doesn't even come
Oh, what,
to
with
anything.
the winky eyebrows of an 8-year-old? Fucking hell.
I hate all that crap.
Do you know why? If they could have made it better if they actually made it like an R rating as well.
Isn't it a series of books as well?
Yeah, I read the book, and it doesn't end like that. Clearly.
How does it end?
Do you know what? Can I tell you something? It was so dull, I've forgotten how they even killed the shark in Meg? How did they kill it?
He
Remind
stabs
me?
it in the eye.
Poked in the eye.
Oh, please. After everything, that fucking shark dies with that harpoon through the eye. I'm sorry. I don't care if you put it all the way full tilt. That doesn't kill that shark.
It was poisonous though, wasn't it? A poisonous dart.
I don't
Look at
think
the
so.
size of the fucking shark.
Was it just that, or did it hit something? It blew up, didn't it?
No,
I
I
think
don't
so.
remember that. I remember him. I see. It was so dull. I remember
He
him
jumps into
clinging
the
to the
sky and he
thing for
stabs
so
it in the
long.
eye. Then it falls back into the sea.
Yes,
Yeah, that's it.
And then
That's
I can't
They were
remember.
like, we need a really good
That's
3D
right.
thing for them to finish the film on. Let's have him swimming in the air.
No, he doesn't. He stabs it down the side of his spaceship thing.
Oh yeah.
And then all the
That's
other
it.
sharks-
Exactly.
and all the other sharks
Yeah,
eat it.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that bit.
Correct. What happens in the book? Yeah, that's what reminds me. What happens in the book is, even though the book was ridiculous as well, he ends up inside the shark's belly in his little ship.
Isn't that Pinocchio?
Yes, it kind of is, but it doesn't make him sneeze. But he blows up the shark from inside, being inside it. I don't know how he survives.
Because he's fucking Jason Statham. Isn't the shark in the... I was reading something that the shark in the book is white as well.
Yeah, because it's
Can't
so
see-
far
got no
down below.
light.
It's why I read something about they tried to do it for the Meg, but it didn't work. It didn't look good. It looked like a ghost shark or something.
It needs to look like a normal shark for people to actually fear it, kind of thing.
Okay, I feel like I'm done with this film. Has anyone got any other points? On
Yes, more points.
Yeah,
Paul,
we have
you're
more
on-
points.
Paul is on to the correct point about why this didn't work scary, and it is because of the size.
Yeah.
Little is
And
smaller.
it needed to be more bloody because it needed more scare factor where it's people just getting swallowed and it's like, that's boring.
Yeah, when people are swallowed and there's no blood, like,
Yeah.
oh, I almost...
You're just falling.
Yeah.
You're just falling into a big shark's mouth.
If you make a shark film, like a terrifying shark film, and it gets given a 12A, you must, like, think, oh shit, we've done something wrong.
Well...
Like a 12 even. 12's a bit different to a 12A,
yeah, but
isn't it?
interesting you say that, man. Because
I think you can show blood in a 12A, can't you?
you can show blood in a 12A.
Yeah, but like I walked into the cinema and there was kids in there. I was like, have I walked into the wrong screen or something? Are we about to see some weird like kids film? Like, am I actually in the right screen? And I actually got my ticket back out and checked it to make sure I was in the right screen.
Do you know the only reason I give this a 2?
Yeah, go on.
And it sounds silly, but the only reason I give it a 2 is because I like to see a dorsal fin in the water, and they showed a lot of shots of dorsal fins in the water, and that was the
like
only
it.
thing that was kind of scary. Yeah, even though it was a big fucking dorsal fin, but like I like to see. That's it. I like the hint of something. Don't show it all. Give us that.
Also,
fin.
I'm not going to lie, throwing an iPhone in the water with a whale noise.
Yes.
I don't think they didn't put an iPhone, did they? They had it on big speakers or something.
Yeah, it wasn't. It definitely wasn't an iPhone.
Wasn't it a speaker? I just thought it was like some floating thing.
No, it was a callback to when they said when the millionaire came and he said, "Oh, we put all the whale sounds on, so they'd come."
Yeah.
Oh.
And so what's wrong with that logic? The Meg lived under the fucking ocean bed. It's never encountered a whale in its
Oh, yeah,
life.
true.
What
Very
would
true.
be the significance of hearing that to it? How is that
Yeah,
any
true.
different to any other noise, like the splashing of fucking...
Because it just knows it can go and attack.
And also the other thing is, the shark is right there, and it's about to eat people, and then
I
it hits the
know.
whale sound, and it turns. Why not eat them and keep on swimming?
know.
I don't know. I
That's what I was
can't.
about to
I
say.
can seem to remember in another film where a kid is on a beach and his mum says he can't go in the sea, and then the kid goes in the sea and suddenly it's in danger.
You were told not to make any even references,
Yes, so you've lost.
so you failed by your own.
What film is
Your
it?
own game.
I can't remember.
Yeah. Oh yes. Oh yeah. Let's play that game. What film is it? Shall
film
I
is
say
it?
the film
Oh.
that it is, Paul? Do you think that's
Oh.
what I should do?
Like, let me tell you, like, I mean, you don't have to have seen this film, but in The Reef, Adam, like, seeing someone in the water, right, and they've just been bitten by a shark, surrounded by blood,
Yes.
right, and you just see them in the distance, like, oh my god, that is scary, because you know there's sharks around them, and
Yeah.
then just get pulled underwater. That's like, Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Yeah, they did it in the
That
shallows
is
as
scary.
well. She's like gets knocked into the water and there's like a big like it bites something or someone gets bitten and it's like a big but she's just swimming in blood, like it's spread all around the water.
Do you know what
and
the
that's
Do you know what the
panic.
difference is? And I think the reason the Shallows didn't work so well is because it was all about her. You knew that she wasn't going to die because they focused it all on her. So actually, it was like, well, this is like a fucking 2 hour film, hour and a half film. If she dies, it's going to be right at the end.
It
So
was
all
an
the way
hour.
along-
The Shallows is only an hour and 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, short.
Childish film.
But yeah, the Meg was shit. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Yeah, the
point.
Meg was appalling. Didn't
It
please
made
me
you
in
feel
any way.
sick. That's how
It
shit
made me feel
was.
sick, and I can safely say that I would happily sit through Tomb Raider multiple times before I ever watch that film again.
At least you get to see the man tipping his hat.
The man tipping his hat,
It's
shaking his
true.
hand. We'll see Sprout. We'll see the eyeballs exploding in the mummy when the room opens up. Tomb Raider's a fucking gem compared to this.
Literally a gem.
Literally a gem. I'm done with it.
Yeah. Have you got any
What
points,
else?
Paul?
I've got a couple more.
Let's hear it.
Okay, yeah, I've got like 3 more things. First of all, did you have trouble distinguishing what kind of accent Jason Statham was doing?
Yes.
I mean, he was just
I was
going
like, is he English?
British.
Is he American?
He was.
And then I was thinking, maybe he's trying to do an Australian accent. I didn't get it.
Do you know what I resigned myself to thinking? But this is doing the film giving it too much credit. I thought he was meant to be a British person who had moved to America and lived there for a long time. So he just picked up some American inflections. I think
yeah.
it was just
Didn't
a
like it,
really
though.
shit American accent.
But he was just trying to be like too. Do you know that when you see those American films and it's like, I'm a British guy. It's not
Yeah.
like that. It was like one of those.
Yeah.
And it's like that was a bit of annoying.
That is the way he talks, though, normally.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was too much American inflection on stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't like it.
Also, it sent a very bad message because he was pissed in the bar and then he drives a motorbike.
Yeah.
What kind of message are you sending out to kids?
Get pissed and drive a motorbike and you're fine.
If you drink enough alcohol, you do not get pissed, and you can do what you want if you're an alcoholic.
Yes. Correct.
It does help you to kill a big shark as well.
It stops you from feeling any fear. You feel invincible. So that's the
Yeah.
only reason that they called him. It's like, this guy's a fucking alcoholic. If we needed
This
to jump in
guy-
the water, he'll do it.
This guy is a psycho.
He's a fucking
He's
psycho
living with the
alcoholic.
loss. He's got to
Just
make
let him
up
jump
for
in.
it.
And also, why the hell's he jumping in to save her when he only met her like a day ago and she's annoying as hell?
She's fine down there. She's showing no panic.
Another
Yeah.
thing that's annoying is they're all like, we have to get Jason Statham. You know, he knows how to go underwater. He can go in the depths where he can handle it and get the whatever sickness he gets.
Yeah.
Then they go get him. Then the woman just goes down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was it.
yeah.
They didn't make it. This is an unexplored place that no other human has ever been to. They've never touched the bottom of the seabed. They're trying to find
Yeah.
out what's below it. To get down there, it was like the easiest thing in the world.
Yes.
They made it like you could literally just swim down to the bottom of the pool and just touch
Yeah.
it.
He was just like blowing his ears to stop him from popping. That was the effect he was feeling.
Yeah, but like they went down there so easily. Like this has spent you like months of research to get one pod down here. How can you just get the normal glider and just go down there?
I
It's
know.
true.
It
Why
is
does it
true,
cost so
yeah.
much money?
You had it there the whole time.
I've got another thing.
Yes.
Another thing that me and Zoe looked at each other like, what?
Go on.
And this was when they all got tipped off the boat and they all got back on again.
Yeah.
And then the
my
black
salt
guy
then?
was sitting next to
Huh?
What are you doing my salt?
No, I'm doing my podcast. You're going to be in it now.
Yay! What film are you doing?
The Meg.
The Meg.
Yeah.
Smeg.
Yeah.
It's about a fish.
Yeah.
Massive fish. The only thing wrong with the whole film is that Jason Statham don't get killed by it. He thinks he's harder.
true.
than
That is pretty much a sum up of the.
That needs to be included in the podcast. Keep it in.
Anyway, let's carry on. Where were we?
So the bit that took me out of the film is when they all fell off the boat and then all got back on, and the black guy was looking at Jax, who's that Ruby Rose, the girl,
Yeah.
and was like, "What's wrong with your hair?"
Yeah, why do you even say that?
And then she goes, "What's wrong with yours?"
I
And
didn't
it's
get
like,
it.
what?
Yeah, it made no sense.
It was like a joke just to say that he was bald.
That was fucking stupid, man.
I don't get it.
There was so much nonsense like that. Connected to that being in the water stuff, that moment when he was in the water before he got killed, but before the big shark jumped out. Why
Yeah.
would you stay in the water, even if you think that shark is the shark? Why
Yeah,
would
get
you
out.
stay in the water just treading
I know.
water? You would
There's
be
other sharks.
traumatized.
You're in the middle of the ocean. It's not a fucking lake.
Yeah, you would never get in the sea again.
And the ocean is not very choppy. It was like a very like mellow, wasn't it?
It was almost like a water tank was being used somewhere.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
like in a backlot of a film studio.
Never.
Quite.
It was in the middle of the sea.
Anyway, should we move on to our
Wait,
next event?
wait,
Have we got
one more
special
thing. I've
There's
got
news?
one
another
more
point.
thing.
I can't wait to hear
One
this
more
last
thing.
point.
The last thing I got to say is a bit that really annoyed me, and it kept annoying me whenever anyone mentioned it. It was when they kept going on about Jason Statham for leaving those people behind in the submarine, that he shut the door and they blew up after 5 seconds. And it's like, what are you talking about? Why are you so angry at him?
It is true. And also, that one guy fucking survived, so why was he so angry? He didn't have any
I
loved
know.
ones on that submarine.
Yeah,
I
his
know.
friends. They had their
It's like,
chums down
wait,
there.
mate, we got to go because this place is going to explode. So we better go.
Yeah.
No, go down there. It's
Yeah.
going to take longer than 5 seconds. But, just go. And then the Chinese woman's getting involved.
I know.
Hated it.
I hated
And then they
all
just
of
drop
them.
it out. They mention it and then they just got rid of it.
And then she goes and looks at him through the door when he's getting changed. Stupid.
I know, pervert. If that was a man doing that, the film would be heavily criticised.
It would be.
Well, the film probably did much worse than that, to be fair.
And also, one more point on the Meg.
Go on.
The reason that I really didn't like it is if you stack up how much time we spent with a shark and how much time we just spent in corridors having shit conversations about the facility, I would say like 70% of the film was just people in a B-movie way talking shit in corridors about stuff
Just
we don't
putting
care
words in front of words. Sound.
Do you know we
technical.
actually didn't even get a proper glimpse of the shark for at least 3/4 of an hour.
Yeah, true.
And in a film like this, when the shark is all you come to see, you need to be seeing it a lot more.
Yeah.
Yes, indeedy.
We're done. Let's move on to what we've been watching, and we're going to do a staircase special.
Yes.
Do you want to find out what we've been watching, Big Boy?
Oh yeah, tell me. Tell me what's hot right now.
So, we've all watched The Staircase now.
We've all watched
Yes.
The Staircase. If you haven't watched The Staircase, stop listening.
Yeah, you
Yes.
definitely need to stop listening because you might be able to get through the Meg and think, oh, no spoilers, I don't really give a shit about the Meg, but this is kind of a bit more serious.
This is
Yes.
going to be spoiler central.
Let's turn the lights down,
Just
Turn the lights down.
spotlights on,
Yes.
and let's have a serious conversation.
All right, so without going into detail about it, assuming that everyone who's listening now at this point has seen it all, what are our final thoughts on The Staircase at
I
this
still
stage?
think he's guilty.
Why?
Oh shit, calm down.
No, I'm asking. I mean it.
Because I feel like the whole time he was playing this, oh, look at my perfect family, look at this, we're so brilliant, look, we got this, that and the other, oh, look, I'm being so nice. And yet when you look into him a bit more, it looks like he's covering up, and he was trying to use that whole front that he put onto all the public, all to the media, about him being so perfect, his family being so perfect. And then there's actually a lot that is undercover. And also the fact it's happened twice.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I still think there was something very shady about him. Also, have you two
Yeah.
watched the owl thing now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. Then.
Yeah, go on, Paul.
I think, in my opinion,
Yeah.
I still think there wasn't enough evidence to
Yeah.
say that he did it. Because
Yeah,
they,
that
for-
is it. Like you
the
could
prosecution, all they kept doing is slandering his name by bringing up that he's a homosexual or he's bisexual.
Yeah, that's got nothing
And-
to do with it.
I know, but that's just
During the
how you
time
sway
the
a
case
jury.
came out, it could probably have been a bit more.
It had everything to do with it at the time the case came out.
Yeah, and even Adam, even if you did it nowadays, it would still sway a jury, especially when you're in
Yeah.
Southern America.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is that fact that they couldn't actually prove why he did it. It's a bit like
Yeah.
probably like the O.J. Simpson case. Like you can't actually prove exactly what happened, and that's why he got away with it. But you still deep down inside know that he did something wrong that night.
I don't I don't think that he did. What I still maintain that he is innocent of it, and actually I do think that the owl thing kind of actually explains a lot of the stuff that couldn't be explained.
Yeah,
I
it
agree.
is very plausible. And like the lawyer said, if he knew about that like a week in advance, 'cause it
Yeah,
came,
he
like,
could
a
have maybe
day
done
before,
something with it.
You could have put that forward, and then there's a prosecution. You're like, that makes so much more sense to exactly what happened. But
Yes.
still, at the same time, I still think
The only thing that I feel that's a bit off with this whole documentary is the fact that we get to the end of the actual first case, and he goes to prison, and then when they do the retrial, there's a lot of points that are brought up that we
that
never
weren't
know
in the
about.
original documentary.
Yeah, but
Like
this
the
is
whole-
a free. This whole thing is free series. So they filmed the original case, then they stopped it, and they went back for season 2 and they did the retrial, and then that was another series when this came out on TV, and then the last couple afterwards again were another ones, and they were recently added to Netflix, which is why this whole thing has now become a big TV series. Before,
But the strange thing is, there's no
the TV series has been out for ages.
Yeah, I know that, but the fact there's no exposition about there was strangulation or stuff like that, and how there was micro feathers in her hands.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
I
wonder. So there's two ways of looking at it. One is you could say the documentary is biased. It didn't include those things. Or two is like, you could say, well, they got to make a documentary, so there's all these things they could introduce, but if they do, then they need to spend time on it, so they just decide to leave out the things that they don't think are as important in the court case. But then who are they to say? Maybe if they thought the strangulation wasn't really brought up in court or something, because I read somewhere that David Rudolph said it wasn't strangulation, that's like where her thorax was crushed because that's where she could have fallen when she fell or something like that.
And also the footprint on the back of her leg as well was never mentioned.
No. Well, okay, so here's the big thing that makes me think things aren't quite what they seem with a staircase. I do still think that he didn't do it, but like Making a Murderer. In Making a Murderer, he clearly did it, but what's so good about a documentary is it's about the fact that they faked so much shit because they wanted to catch him. So I think he did do it, but they faked so much shit. In this, I think he is innocent, but I think that they did a lot in the documentary to try and make you think he was definitely innocent. And one of the most shocking things is this relationship that he had with the editor of the documentary for the entire duration.
Yeah, you only find out at the very end.
They don't even tell you in the documentary. You have to go and find that out yourself.
This is actually one of our
They did mention it
questions.
at one point, didn't they?
No.
Because I haven't done any further research and I knew that.
No, they never mentioned it.
They never mentioned it in a documentary. You must have read something. You probably spoiled it for yourself before you ever watched any of the staircase. You probably read all about the case before you even watched it because you couldn't contain yourself. Read all about the owl theory.
Let me seeing as we're
laugh.
mentioning this, I might as well bring up the letter which is from Natalie Wexler, which is asks that Mike was supposedly having an affair with the editor of the documentary for 15 years. So theoretically, the start of the case. Did this sway your opinion of the verdict?
Pretty much from the start right to the end.
Yeah.
Almost like it ended when the documentary ended.
Well, obviously that's going to be a bit more biased.
I mean, I need to look into it, but it seems like she only edited episode 8, which was the verdict episode.
Right.
But
the thing that's so strange, if you look at a picture of her online, she looks so much alike. Like the three of them, the two who fell down the stairs, and her, they could be sisters. They're so much alike.
It's true, but then you know how it goes in those situations. Like if the media want to tell you that story, they look for pictures. Right? If they wanted to, they could probably find a picture of all three of us at different times in our lives looking like each other based on certain ages. If you took a picture of me when I was 20. You could probably find one that makes me look like how you two looked when you were 20.
I hope not.
Yeah, true.
You insulting little fuck. At least my hair wasn't slanted to the side like a door wedge.
This mine's not receding.
It's like a wedge of cheese.
Yeah. Now go and get your fucking shine box. But there's a few other things that were interesting. I was looking into it today. You know that his son Todd...
Yeah.
Who is in those first 8 episodes and then he kind of disappears at the end.
I thought he was a very suspicious character.
He was kind of suspicious, and it's interesting that he turned up at the house the night that Kathleen died before the police got there.
Yeah. I thought that was so strange. And do you remember when he was in jail talking to him and he came and visited him? He's such a strange character. But then I kind of... When I thought back, I was thinking, no, do you know what? The mum is quite an eccentric character. The one who lived in Germany. She's a bit like that. She sounds a bit spiritual, and she likes.
They're all a little bit off, though, aren't they? There's all something.
It's what I mean. They're trying to make this front that they put out to the people saying, "Look at us, we're so perfect, we're so brilliant. Look at us, look at us." When you actually scratch off the surface a bit, you're like, "Oh, they're actually not. Like they are these characters underneath."
So
like,
Adam,
hiding
if you
stuff.
so you're the one who thinks that he killed her.
I don't think he meant to kill her. I think something's happened, and then she's ended up dying.
All right, but okay, so then account for the things that they were questioning in the documentary. So if you
yeah, I know
if you
it
think
is
he
a
killed
bit like
her,
that, but
you know, the thing is, if
I
there's
still think
reasonable
he's done
doubt-
something wrong, and I don't feel completely sorry.
The
for
other
him.
thing is, right? Okay, this other woman died at the bottom of a staircase. Fine. If you killed that woman, why on earth would you kill another woman, your wife, in exactly the same spot? How do you think for a second you're going to get away with
at the
it?
top of the stairs? They could have been like arguing or something, and I don't know. He didn't mean to do it. That's the thing. Like I think it's a complete accident that she actually fell down the stairs.
But then there you go. Then who's to say that he pushed her? If
Yeah,
she
I mean, I'm
died
not
from
saying
falling
I
down the
don't think he's
stairs,
completely innocent in the situation, but I feel that he has got there is something about him that is guilty towards the situation.
it is suspicious. But you know what? It's all about that documentary, and that documentary suckered me in and it did, and I'm aware that it did. Because when you watch 13 episodes and you spend time with those people, you can't help but feel a little on their side.
Yeah.
And like the prosecution was so fucking annoying.
I know. Yeah. But you know what? Let me tell you something about the overall presentation of the series. I felt like Mike did, right, watching the series as he felt in real life. I got to the verdict for the first case.
Yeah.
And I was like so tense, like so on board, like oh my god, this is crazy. And then as the last few episodes went on, I felt like he did. I was fed up. I was like, oh come on now.
Getting disheartened by it all now.
Yeah, it was like, come on, this is going on for too long, and you just need to finish it. That's how I felt.
Because as in you didn't enjoy the end of the documentary?
No, I enjoyed it, but I feel like they dragged it on a bit long. They dragged it on a bit long for the reasons like that no new evidence came up.
Yeah, but it was But that was a hell of a choice, man. I felt for him so much. You know when the lawyer David Rudolph calls him up and is like, Michael, they're not going for it. There's going to be another trial, and I'm not going to be able to help you.
Yeah, that felt.
I felt so bad for him, and when he was like, I'm just so exhausted from it all, and like Michael Peterson just starts laughing, and it's like, how the fuck can you say that to a man who spent 8 years behind bars?
I feel like he's had his justice a bit though. I feel like him going to jail a little bit was enough. Maybe he didn't deserve a full time, but.
Well, that's it. It's like if he's innocent.
Also, why didn't he go against? Why I can't remember now. I finished it about a month ago now. But why didn't he try and sue the government for like putting him in jail for like unlawfully?
Because then I guess it opens up the trial, doesn't it?
He's guilty though, and he went to jail, and that was he had.
Yeah, but then he was found not
reason
guilty,
to go to
wasn't
jail.
he? He had a retrial.
No,
he was found guilty.
No, he didn't have a real trial. There was no trial. He was.
Okay.
The verdict was dismissed because of the fact that fake evidence by that twat diva.
Yeah, that was a bit. Yeah, I still feel like he's not completely innocent.
He had to say he was guilty.
He had to say he was guilty through that Ordell defence or whatever it was, Alford plea, where you say I am innocent, but I believe there's enough evidence that a court would say I'm guilty.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is a hell of a position. And I was trying to think, what would I do in that situation? At that age, if I want to be around my family, I probably would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially after that long as well.
Yeah, and if you're going to go back to trial again, and there's a possibility you could go back to jail, then you'll just be like, I can't bother, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
He'd already had to sell his house and whatever he had to do. There's no point going through it anymore. His family thought he was innocent, so who else do they need to worry about?
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, if he is guilty and he did it, I feel terrible for all the things I say to defend him.
It's a fascinating case though. Like
it really is.
You can't be excused from like thinking he might not be. That's the whole thing. It draws you. So we can have a conversation like this.
Do you think this was a better documentary than Making a Murderer? Because I do.
Really?
I think Making a Murderer had too much bias in it. And don't forget, Making a Murderer was made because of this. This came first. And the makers of Making a Murderer said, well, we took the style of this.
Yeah.
And Making a Murderer is so flawed. When you read into the reality of that Stephen Avery guy, Stephen Avery's a fucking psychopath. He totally killed her. There was loads of stuff they dropped out of the documentary.
And I wasn't really happy with how it ended. I was
that was a boring ending.
Yeah.
The last 3-4 episodes of that were a non-entity.
Agreed.
Can I say one final thing on this subject?
Yes.
I saw there is John Lithgow is doing a sitcom called Trial and Error.
Right.
And after this podcast, if you YouTube the trailer for it, it's a sitcom that absolutely is spoofing The Staircase. He plays the Michael Peterson role. He's killed.
Cool.
His wife has died, and he's going to court for it. And it's like a documentary following what's
That
happening.
sounds good.
But it's a
That
comedy,
sounds good.
and he's playing the Michael Peterson role.
Amazing. I like the sound of that.
Yes. Anyway, that was very indulgent. We never do this, but that was very indulgent, wasn't it?
Indeed.
I liked it.
Anyway.
I did indeed. Should we move on to letters? We have one more
We've got
letter
a
to
letter.
go.
Let me
Yes.
see
Yes.
one letter.
These 3 males just received emails.
Well, what are we supposed to do about it?
Fucking read them.
Right, so this question will make Adam very happy, as it is from Terry Mason, and he asks, what shark is scarier, Jaws or the Meg? As we can talk about Jaws now.
Oh, Jaws, 100%.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
100%
And
Jaws.
There's so much more threat.
Yeah.
He's not too big. He can take a bite out of you.
Yeah. Jaws.
I mean-
Oh, man. It feels so refreshing to say Jaws after all
I
of
know.
this.
Yes. The Meg,
It is
right?
the daddy.
The Meg, if you had a peanut, right? That's like you biting a peanut. That's how the Meg is, like if you had to bite a human.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you wouldn't. You'd throw it in your mouth.
Yeah. There's no fear to that. But if you nibbled at a peanut.
And also, the Jaws has got, like, you go back to your whole Jurassic Park thing. The Jaws is real. The shark is real.
Yeah. Yeah, quite. Now that we're talking about Jaws, that they tried to do a clever reference to Jaws and it was shit with the dog, which they called
And the
Pivot.
kid.
It's like, stop doing that. And the kid, yeah, who about going in the water, yeah. I hated it. Also, the thing that said Finn at the end, stupid.
That was the best part of the film, I'm not going to lie.
I knew you'd like that, you prat.
You brat.
That was what they should have done the whole time. They should have been stupid like that.
Do you know who was stupid? Us 3.
Us for going to see it. And giving them money. They'll make a second one now.
True.
That
And
went
they
to that
probably will.
stupid little girl's salary.
Aww.
I don't think she gets paid much, do they, child actors?
She gets paid in peanuts.
And she throws them in her mouth like the Meg.
Right, are we done? Are we done?
Yeah.
We're done. Thanks for the salt.
Right,
I'm going.
you guys can get in touch with us and send us letters at FilmBustersPod on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter, or email us at filmbusters@outlook.com. Do you know what this podcast is?
What is it?
It's Finn.
FilmBusters.